Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now February 13th of 2024, and given that multiple divisions over at Disney are continuing to fail, all because of Bob Iger's lack of leadership skills and his push for his cost containment plan, which by the way is now in its third phase, that was already greenlit, and it will be making a great impact, a big impact by the way, starting off with Pixar, then Lucasfilm, Marvel Studios, and Walt Disney Animation Studios just for starters. That's going to involve thousands of firings altogether, and hundreds of millions of dollars worth of budgeting cuts and more. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So, one thing about Hugh Jackman, now we know that he is central to Deadpool and Wolverine. That is the official title of Deadpool 3. And the trailer, which by the way, we talked about this a couple of days ago actually, of how Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy, the director, got the actual freedom, and the creative freedom I should add, to really request on how it would be edited together. And I think that's why the trailer came across as decent. As far as Disney standards go, I know people thought that they were going to get a lot more in the trailer, and yes, Wolverine being teased, so to speak, is something that was reverted. There were initial plans to have him shown in that trailer that got reverted. But what's interesting about this further has a lot to do with Jackman and his stand against Disney, and what kind of ultimatums he recently made after what Disney did to him for Deadpool 3, after many scenes that he actually played in got deleted because Disney felt that they were way too violent. So what's interesting about this further is that with many divisions over at Disney endlessly falling into serious issues due to Bob Iger's cost containment plan, one major development heavily involves actor Hugh Jackman after the ongoing Deadpool 3 drama. As it turns out, Jackman has been in multiple heated arguments with the Disney heads after many disagreements took place with his involvement in the future of the MCU. However, just recently, Jackman decided to drop negotiations and discussions of signing a multi-film contract deal with Marvel Studios that Disney analysts projected would earn Disney billions of dollars worldwide in revenue through ticket sales and merchandise alone for Wolverine. Now, the specifics of this has much to do with the fact over how Disney was pushing to use Wolverine in a strategy that would bring him back as the character in 10 projects total. This was going to be a combination of both major roles and cameo appearances. However, the main part of his return and his involvement was not the latter. After Disney deleted his key scenes from Deadpool 3 that would bring him fighting in World War II and Vietnam, as well as Disney running into financial arguments and his future projects, Jackman decided to step down from this massive contract deal that Disney analysts, like I say, informed Bob Iger would garner billions worldwide over time. Now that Jackman is out of those projects, and since Wolverine was planned to be central to the plot of these stories, Disney decided to cancel them altogether and are completely reworking their strategy with mutant-era content, such as movies and TV shows, etc. This is why Kevin Feige and Iger have been mostly silent with the future of X-Men and the mutants, and how they will be incorporated into the MCU. Right now, Jackman is only on, of course, and involved in discussions for his appearance in Secret Wars, alright? And even then, of course, this is falling into more arguments that Disney is in the talks of lowering his pay grade for a massive role in the film than what he was paid for Deadpool 3 standards. This is yet another example of Iger's cost-cutting measure wreaking havoc at Marvel Studios and for the talent working for them on said films and shows. In addition to all of this, Disney lost the big opportunity with endless amounts of merchandise, with different iterations of Wolverine to hit store shelves in the future based on those films Jackman that walked out on. Jackman walked out also due to the fact that Disney was, at no surprise, doubling down their DEI agenda with those films. However, their analysts projected that even with their push for DEI and knowing the controversy surrounding that, they still, in their mind, would have garnered billions worldwide across the multiple films and Jackman's massive multi-film contract deal. Now, Jackman also had another argument that he is getting up there in age, and that many projects, that many altogether, may have been a bit too much to begin with. This is where Disney knew they could not move forward. Already Disney has held discussions on a potential recast of Wolverine once that time comes, where Jackman can no longer portray Wolverine anymore after Secret Wars. So guys, let me stop here before I move on. Now, two things that I think everyone should take away from all of this is the fact that Disney has been in conversation with, of course, Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige on a potential recast of Wolverine. And I don't know about you guys, but there really is a very touchy area when it comes to recasts, and Wolverine is absolutely one of them. You would have to be so careful over who you choose to be Wolverine, because not only is the character iconic, it's also heavily associated with Hugh Jackman. You know, you really can't quite do it successfully right off the bat. You really have to do your research, you have to get the right role. That's why a lot of people are always pointing to, you know, some actors that really fit the role that could have done that job, but those actors turned down those actual roles of Wolverine before in the past. That's why Jackman got this opportunity, and it really flourished his career. But what's interesting about this is that when you look at stuff like this, when it comes to Bob Iger and how he wanted to lower Jackman's pay grade, as per his cost containment strategy, we talked about this months ago over how a lot of A-list stars were going to get hit by Bob Iger's cost-cutting measures, and Jackman was going to be one of them. So it wasn't just the fact that Jackman felt that he was going to get involved in way too many projects. It was also about downgrading his pay and shoving this DEI nonsense into these projects and how it would tarnish the Wolverine character. That's why I think a lot of fans are still a little bit on edge on how Wolverine will be established in Deadpool 3. A lot of fans are just kind of crossing their fingers that maybe, just maybe, Ryan, Sean, Rhett, and Paul are getting things done their way and preventing those reshoots that Disney is pushing for this spring that would tarnish the third act of Deadpool 3. So let's just hope that that does not end up happening. We'll have to wait and see. So what's interesting about this, again, is that we know that Wolverine is central to Secret Wars as of right now where it stands. That's the basic plan by Kevin Feige, is that they want Wolverine to be a big part of this movie, part of like the top 10 cast members, right? When it comes to Hugh Jackman per se. Now, on top of this is where it gets interesting, alright? Is that, with that being said, right now, Jackman is only staying with Disney reportedly if and only if Deadpool 3 does well on a grand scale, and then he is willing to step up to the plate for Secret Wars as one of the main leads. The films that Jackman walked out on were also going to be co-written by Ryan Reynolds, some of which Disney removed Ryan from, and this also bothered Jackman behind the scenes. Now, talked about that about a month ago when he was removed from multiple projects due to not just financial disagreements, but also creative differences, and the list goes on and on. It's not a surprise or shocker when it comes to Disney, right? So I would love to hear what you all have to say about this ongoing scenario over at Marvel Studios and Disney, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.